Sneak dissing, we don't see the competition. I drop off a ransom note that your art is missing, nigga.
Pay us in full with the money, or she gon' get her fingers clipped off like Lil Sonny,
MRecktv.
Yo, we always gonna be best friends, man.
Mind you, I'm part of Beat Miners and I'm affiliated with Duck Down as a new company that's in the market with a bunch of artists. So I always get the in-house love to place records. But outside of that, if a call came to Duck Down's office on my behalf, I never got it.
What was your first big joint that you did? Like the one that you was like, yo, I want to keep doing this.
The 90s, Le Fleur, Le Fly, and Skoshka.
Oh, you did that?
The OGC. Yes, sir. Rest in peace to Sean Price.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Beat Miners, Duck Down.
Price, yeah.
Backstory of that record is crazy. Like when we demoed the record, it was so many bars. Think about it, it's 5 people on that record, right? So imagine everybody's competing, you know, like Wu-Tang before Wu-Tang. Everybody's competing on the one song to have the best verse. So my job as a producer is to narrow it down, to kind of make it a song. Otherwise, it's been a beat and verse. And I'm just like sitting in the studio listening to all shit like, oh shit, how do I make this into a record?
All right, let me
yes, y'all hook.
Yeah, let me ask you this question, not to cut your wisdom. So the original version is way longer, and it's a possibility somebody didn't make the record.
Now, actually, everybody made the record that was on the record out of Helter Skelter and OGC because it's 5 of them. But I had to kind of pick out the best parts of their verses because let's say instead of it being 16, it was 20 or 24 bars.
Gotcha.
I had to listen and be like, all right, I'm gonna end him here. You know what I'm saying? And let the next cat come in. You know what I'm saying? So
that's dope, the way you did it,
the first and second, because you have to have an ear to kind of like pick it apart enough to bring the best out of what they're doing and still make it a song. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was a lot of pressure because I was just building my name with the Beat Miners, and the only work I did before that was the stuff on Smith & Wesson's album. You know what I'm saying? Like, mind you, I contributed ideas to Black Moon's record, but it wasn't until Smith & Wesson that actually I had my name on credits. So by the time we get to doing Helter Skelter stuff, you know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, they're giving me a single opportunity. I got to kill this shit. You know what I'm saying? So Rock did the hook. They did a bunch of verses. I narrowed it down. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I mixed it in a way where you could have the length for radio, like just over 3 minutes at that time. Yeah. Anywhere between 3 to 320 was good for radio. I mean, it's a little different now. Sometimes records even shorter for radio. You know what I'm saying? But if you have the Helter Skelter album, you'll notice that the version on the album is longer. It's almost 5 minutes because I let more of it go. You know what I'm saying? But then if you have like the single version that went to radio or the DJ 12-inch, you got the radio version. You know what I'm saying?
That's classic, bro. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Everybody. Rest in peace.
Yeah, for sure.
All that.
Still, Buck, you know what I mean?
Definitely. So like when that record dropped and it's buzzing crazy because it was all over radio, the streets was eating it up. Now those phone calls come in.
Nah.
Key thing. I'm gonna tell y'all. I was in artist mode, meaning like I was a producer, happy to be working in the crib making beats. I come out when it's time to shop a beat, you know, I'll come to the studio when it's time to share what I just came up with. And I had no management. So mind you, I'm part of Beat Miners and I'm affiliated with Duck Down as a new company that's in the market with a bunch of artists. So I always get the in-house love to place records. But outside of that, if a call came to Duck Down's office on my behalf, I never got it. And I could honestly blame Drew for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got word years later that he got calls about me. But, you know, he wanted to control the dynamic, meaning that I don't want him to be giving away too much music to other people unless I control it. Meaning, if I get a percentage, or he may want me to just do the beats for within the beat miners circle, like for boot camp. You know what I'm saying? In hindsight, it was a lesson learned, and I'll never put myself in a situation like that again. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, real
So
talk.
let me ask
Real
you
talk.
this.
No hate involved, but it's just real. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. So was you signed to Duck Down?
No, never. I was just an affiliate of the Beat Miners. It was just me, Evil D, Mr. Walt, and then two other cats who came in. Like behind me was Chocolate Ty and Rich Black. Rich Black produced on the Shining album. He produced one time for your mind. That joint. The videos with the Shining. You know what I'm saying? Concept.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Shout to Rich Black. Shout to Chocolate Ty. And
Chocolate
it was just a crew thing. It was just a crew thing. You see how DITC was, Buck Wild, Showbiz, Lord Finesse, and it was just producing, all the cast that's coming out that circle, Fat Joe, Diamond D, so on. You know what I'm saying? Showbiz and AG. It was never no paperwork, meaning that we did paperwork for the records we produced for the label, but as far as management or me being like an in-house producer for the label, like how maybe Rockefeller was later for like a Just Blaze or a Kanye, we never did that back then. You know what I'm saying? It was just any one of y'all within the Beat Miners, we're working on this album. We got an open budget, bring some beats, and then we would just place the beats, whether we went up to the office or we was just in D&D studios and just playing shit. And niggas, I want that. E would do his joints for Black Moon. Me and Walt would contribute as, you know what I'm saying, and Smith and Wesson, same thing. And then when it came to Helter Skelter, the reason why I got the most work on that album, Nocturnal, was because I was demoing a lot of records for them as a favor at Special Ed Studio in Brooklyn. Shout out to Special Ed.
Special
You know what I'm
Ed.
saying? Buckshot Special Ed was real cool. Remember when they did the Crooklyn record, right?
Yeah.
Crooklyn.
Yeah. So I was demoing records for them as a favor, even when Ian Walt wasn't around, because they were calling me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, cool, So I come through. I demoed the song that became Let the Brains Blow. I demoed the song for OGC that ended up on their album called Elite Fleet. And then those demos is what led to Duck Down situating a deal with Priority Records, Brian Turner, after leaving the Nervous Records. You know what I'm saying? The transition from Duck Down management and the label from Nervous Records was after Smith and Wesson's album. They did Black Moon and Smith and Wesson's album on Nervous Records. Then when it got to Priority, that's when Helter Skelter came out. See what I'm saying?
Helter Skelter.
They were having, internal issues with the label owners at that time, that which is why Black Moon didn't come out with an album, the second album, for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? So I demoed those records. They walked it in, created a situation. So their thank you was like, yo, we'll give you a lot of work on this album. That's why I got like 5 records on there. I got the Therapy record with Vinny Mojica that was on the De La Soul Saturdays record. That was actually Angie Martinez's first music video cameo ever. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It was on that song, Therapy. You can Google that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? She played a nurse in the video.
Yeah, Therapy was banging. You did Therapy?
Yeah. That was one of the 5 songs I did on the album. I did like 5 records on that album.
Let me ask you this.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Being that you did like 5 records on that album, what was the budget, I guess, for you for doing those 5 beats?
I was getting a couple thousand a record at that time. I'm gonna say anywhere between $2,000-$3,500 a record. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because it was still kind of independent. It was Priority. It wasn't like I was getting 5 or 10,000. I got that later as I started building my name more on the credits. But I was cool with that because it's like I'm doing a body of work, so it kind of added up. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you do that math, and I got like 5 records and on there, it was decent. You know what I'm saying? For that time.
12,
and that's
15.
like 96. So I was cool with that. And again, I was in artist mode back then. I was doing a lot of music for the love of the culture, for the love of
just doing it and giving it out. You was just doing it and giving them out.
I was doing the records, and like in this case, like with Helter Skelter, like I would just play the records in the studio, or if Ruck, rest in peace to Sean Price, came to me with an idea, I would put together and then give it to him. Like that's how we did. There was another song called Soldiers Gone Psycho. They came with me the idea of what they want to talk about, and I put that beat together. Therapy was a beat I already made completely from beginning to end, musically, the background vocals in it, the sounds was all there. And I forgot how I met Vinia, but I just thought she would be dope on the record because I love that Sadist record. I love the stuff she used to do with Tribe. You know what I'm saying? So I put her on the record, and we built a good friendship from that. And they decided to make it a single. And the funny thing is, you can Google this too. When they decided to make it a single for that album, they wanted to remix it. And I was like, nah,
not that joint. Nah, yeah.
The original version, if you listen to the album version and you listen to the video version, you'll see the difference. Buck was like, yo, I want to remix. I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'll pass. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the original version of the record. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do a radio edit of any curses in the verses, that's cool. But music, I'm not touching it. So Buck went in and kind of did like a live bass, and he put some other girl in there, some girls he was trying to develop or whatever. And that's the version you see when you see the video. You know what I'm saying? But you can hear the difference automatically compared to the album version. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. That's crazy. So who came up with the video concept?
That's the game.
Who came up with the video?
I'm not sure who came up with the video. I think they had an in-house director they was using a lot back then. But I don't know if it was Buck, because Buck was like the co-executive with Ruha at Duck Down back then. So they probably was overseeing all the decision making with the visuals of the records. You know what I'm saying? And Ruck and Rock, I think based on the song concept, because the song concept was that Ruck was like a mental doctor, and Rock's supposed to be a patient, and he's giving him advice. He's talking about just being a street nigga and into all kind of crazy shit, and he's trying to give him advice. You know what I'm saying? And I just love the way they was back and forth on that song. That's why it made sense it was a single. I just feel like the original version would have been a better presentation for the video.
It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I think they were underrated. If they would have put out more albums, they would have been a problem out here.
The plug and such, you a joke's bound to happen if you slipping or you lacking. I'm gripping on the Mac 10, ready for the action. Shots will make you break dance and have you do a backspin. I got more kicks than karate flicks. My whole team pushing Maserati whips. You on IG liking thotty pics. Shorty pocket broke but her body fixed.
Peace, world. To promote your music or promote your business by placing an ad on MRecktv, contact MRecktv promo, MRecktv promo at gmail.com. Peace. Oh yeah, subscribe to MRecktv, youtube.com/MRecktv. I'm gone. MRecktv.
It's got a music.